welcome back to Kinder Canine. I've got Mr. Darcy here, and we're going to teach you sort of the very basic first layers of playing scent games with your dog. This is a great enrichment activity. It's really good for teaching your dog to have some optimism as well, in that they're going to always get a reward if they do the work that's needed to get it. Mr. Darcy's pretty excited here. He's laying down, so I will try to get going. So all you're going to need is a square. You could use a cloth. This is a folded up cloth napkin. You could use a dishcloth if you like. Nothing too big. And what you're going to want to do is have your dog in a waiting position. So this is going to start with probably a little bit of it's your choice if your dog gets too excited. So what we're going to do is take a treat, and if your dog's never done this before, you may find that you have to make sure you get a really smelly treat. Sometimes a nice smelly piece of cheese will work, sometimes it's a piece of meat, sometimes there are some really smelly like tripe treats you can get as well, just to let your dog get the hang of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Mr. Darcy see where I'm putting this treat. Okay, I want him to wait there, so if he starts to move towards it, I'm going to cover it up in a game of It's Your Choice on the floor. Okay, so I've got my cloth here. I'm going to show him where the treat is. And if your dog's never done this before, you may have to actually put it so that your dog can see part of it from the edge of the cloth. Okay, so Mr. Darcy, can you go back? Get back. Thank you. Search. So I'm just using the search cue for him. Good job, buddy. Good job. So he nosed around it. Your dog may start by licking or chewing at the cloth to get at it, and that's okay. The only thing I would suggest is to maybe put it closer to the edge of the cloth, because you really want them to use their nose to move the cloth, or a paw is fine too. Really just chewing through the cloth isn't going to get very far, so I would suggest that. And then what you can do to break it up is you can go search and toss it for them, or you can say break, or you can break it up with a game of tug, let's say, if your dog needs to be a little bit more aroused and interested and engaged to play it. Some of the older dogs, you may have to do that. So Mr. Darcy's sniffing at my hand here where I have my treats. Okay, Mr. Darcy, can you go back? Yes, good boy. Okay, you're gonna wait. So now I'm gonna take the treat, because he's played this before, okay, just a minute ago, and he got the treat when it was just under the edge of the cloth and he saw where I put it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it further underneath the cloth. Search. And he has to work a little bit harder to find it. Good job, buddy. Good job. Okay, Mr. Darcy, search. Okay. So now what we've done is we've had the treat under the cloth. We've had the treat further under the cloth, so under the edge and then under the middle. Mr. Darcy, sit. Thank you. Can you wait? Okay, and so then the next thing you do to make the game a little bit harder is you can take the treat and you can put it in between two folds of the cloth. Search. Now, if at any point your dog starts to grab at the cloth and try to get it before you're ready for it, please stop the game and play It's Your Choice. So that will look like you just covering up the cloth until your dog backs away, or you may need to just stand up and start all over again, and even just work from standing up and moving yourself to get down on the floor, and just every time they try to go after that cloth before you're ready, then you just stop and you stand up again and take a moment. And he got the treat out, he just doesn't realize it. Yes, good boy. Okay, so those are the first few layers of It's Your Choice. The last layer I'm going to show you would be that you can now take the cloth, so we've got it where we put it just under the edge, then we put it squarely underneath the cloth, then we took it and put it between two folds of the cloth. Mr. Darcy, sit. Thank you. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same treat, I'm going to fold it in between the layers, and this is just a piece of kibble between the cloth, but it's super fun. And I'm going to roll the cloth up, and I'm going to fold it a couple times, and I'm going to set it on the floor. And again, if he started to go for it, I would just either pick it back up, or I would put my hand over it. Search. There we go. And now he's going to get to use his nose to find that treat. So you can Google this, you can search up things like the cup game. So that's where you can put a treat under one cup and your dog needs to sniff around. There are lots of different ways that you can enrich your dog's life playing scent games, very basic scent games. And it's a lot of fun for owners too. I can't tell you how many times I've shown people to do this with their dogs. They're not only amazed at their dog's tenacity and looking for the treat, but it's also just really fun to watch them foraging really for their food. And so that is some basic scent work that you can do with your dog at home with very little in terms of supplies. Looking forward to seeing you next week in Kinder K9.